Tucked away in the Old Testament is this incredible book, a book so prophetic, so spot on in its vision of a coming Messiah that it earned a pretty wild nickname, the Fifth Gospel. So how could a text written 700 years before Jesus Christ feel like it's telling the exact same story? Well, that's the mystery we're diving into today.
I mean, that's a bold claim, right? To put an Old Testament prophet right alongside Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. To really get how this is even possible, we have to go back in time, back to the world Isaiah lived in. And let me tell you, it was a world on the absolute brink of disaster.
Before we can really appreciate the incredible hope that Isaiah offers, we first have to feel the crushing weight of his time. This wasn't just a rough patch. We're talking about a kingdom that was facing complete annihilation. Okay, so Isaiah is prophesying down in the southern kingdom of Judah. But just imagine the sheer terror in 722 BC. Their northern neighbors, their own family really, get completely conquered and scattered by the ruthless Assyrian Empire. Now, this isn't some distant threat anymore. It's a superpower camped right on their border. You can bet the fear in the streets of Jerusalem was real. But here's the thing. The Assyrian army wasn't the only enemy. Isaiah's prophecy makes it crystal clear that the kingdom was rotting from the inside out. There was injustice everywhere, leaders were corrupt, and people were just going through the religious motions. So Judah was getting attacked from the outside while it was collapsing from within. And right into this storm of chaos and fear steps the prophet Isaiah. He comes with a message that's both terrifying and, honestly, beautiful. It's a message of judgment, for sure, but also an unbreakable promise of salvation. And you know what's amazing? The entire message is captured right in his name. In Hebrew, Yeshayahu, Isaiah, means the Lord is salvation. It's the perfect summary of his whole book. Yeah, judgment is coming because of your rebellion, but God's ultimate goal was never to destroy. It was always to rescue. And this tension, this push and pull, is the heartbeat of the entire book. For every single warning about sin, Isaiah offers a promise of forgiveness. For every takedown of injustice, he paints this incredible picture of restoration. And against that huge, dark shadow of exile, he holds out this unbelievable hope of a coming king, a Messiah. Nothing captures this better than this one verse. Even in the very first chapter, right in the middle of a really harsh critique, God extends this beautiful offer of a complete and total do-over. It just goes to show that hope was never an afterthought. It was always at the very heart of the message. Okay, now we get to the core of it. This is the reason the book of Isaiah still resonates so powerfully through history. It's a series of prophecies about this mysterious figure he calls the servant. So scattered through the middle of the book are these 4 poems, which we now call the servant songs. They describe a figure who's going to bring justice to the world. But the final song, the one in Isaiah chapter 53, it paints a picture so specific and so shocking that it basically changed everything. Just listen to this language written 700 years before the crucifixion. He was pierced for our transgressions. The servant suffers, but not for anything he did wrong. He suffers for the sins of his people. In a world that was expecting a conquering king, a powerful Messiah, this idea of a suffering savior was absolutely revolutionary. And here it is, the climax. His suffering isn't meaningless, it actually brings healing. This introduces this profound concept of substitutionary atonement, the idea that an innocent person could take the punishment on behalf of the guilty. It's literally the theological engine of the New Testament, laid out right here in Isaiah. And that's why Isaiah 53 is so central to this whole thing. It's way more than just a prediction. It's a theological blueprint. It doesn't just tell us what would happen in the Gospels. It explains the meaning behind it all. It's the explanation written centuries in advance. So how did this ancient book become so incredibly influential? Well, its legacy is cemented right in the pages of the New Testament itself. The New Testament quotes or alludes to Isaiah over 60 times. Just let that sink in. That's more than any other prophet. For the first Christians, Isaiah wasn't just some helpful background text. It was the essential key for understanding who Jesus was and what he came to do. But the most direct connection of all, it comes from Jesus himself. At the very beginning of his public ministry, he walks into his hometown synagogue, unrolls the scroll of Isaiah, and reads a prophecy about the coming Messiah. Then he looks at everyone and says, essentially, I'm the one. I am the fulfillment of this ancient hope. But Isaiah's vision doesn't just end with the Messiah. It explodes into this breathtaking promise of cosmic renewal, a future where all the injustice, all the pain, and all the sorrow are wiped away, and God creates a new heavens and a new earth.
It's a hope for all of creation. So, let's bring it all home. Why is Isaiah called the fifth gospel? Well, because it sets the stage. It describes the Messiah's mission, both his suffering and his glory, with unbelievable clarity, centuries in advance. It gives us the very language, the vocabulary, to understand salvation, and it perfectly holds that tension between the reality of judgment and the promise of incredible hope.
And that leaves us with a really powerful question. For millions of people around the world, this isn't just ancient history. It's a living, breathing source of hope. It makes you wonder, what is it about these ancient words that allows them to resonate so deeply across almost 3,000 years, still shaping lives and offering hope in our world today?
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us.